Howdy everyone, Poacher here with an Age of Magic video, and in today's video we are doing the Hero Spotlight on Wilhelm, the Renegades range damage dealer. It is the first Renegade we have seen since the release of Balthazar, so it has been years, and we are assuming that this faction is going to be powerful because when Balthazar was released, his kit was quite powerful for the time. So he is finally going to start getting that support. But how many will we need before they are usable as a faction? And to be honest, start appearing in the meta, because I doubt they're not going to. Okay, they are powerful. So we'll go over Wilhelm's stats, his abilities. We'll look at him in the arena and how he could potentially be used. So let's get into it. Sliding on into his stats, Wilhelm sits at 2.5 million HP, speed 241, which is decent. Armor is 19,000, magic damage resistance 51,000. Basic magic damage is 386k. So he's a magic dealer, not a physical damage dealer. Magical critical hit chance is at 44%, which is on the higher side. I can't think of any characters, bar maybe Swamp Killer, who have a higher crit chance than him. I'm sure there are some that I've just completely forgotten about, but 44 is notable. Magic critical damage is 646k, and as usual, here is in more depth stats, where you can pause it and have a look at anything you wish to see. Yep, there you go. Alright, so we'll jump into the arena now. We'll look at his visual effects, we'll look at his abilities, what they do, and like I said, where you could potentially use this character. Okay, so going over Wilhelm's basic attack, we have Crimson Arrow deals damage, or deals magic damage to one target. Has a 12% chance per Renegade ally to form an extra attack on the target. The chance to deal a critical hit increases by 5% per darkness token on each Renegade ally. So slowly gets stronger. I can't see why this couldn't get upwards of 5% per, so that's 510, that's 25% chance per darkness character if they've got 5. So you could get pretty high damage off this ability pretty quickly into the game. But it seems Renegades are going to be a faction that need a bit of a ramp up, get those tokens going. They're like a well-designed goblin faction, to be honest. So we're going to go ahead and just use the ability against the enemy Angram. No, let's go Hargrim and have a look at the animation. We're going to take this down to regular speed and... Yep, cool. Oh, okay, so... Got 2 attacks off there. That Hound attacked as well. That's because of Abaddon. That's nothing to do with Wilhelm at all. What you will notice as well is Wilhelm's darkness token is represented by a purple marker instead of the regular green one. I believe they are going to change Balthazar to be purple as well. I have raised the issue with Playcott simply because for consistency, that's how they should all work. It shouldn't be different for every hero. So I think the purple marker is good. As you can see, he's got 1 darkness token on him. So like Balthazar, he gets 1 per turn as well. So yeah, pretty average. I'm going to say average basic attack. We've seen some pretty decent ones in the past. This one, just average. Moving on to Wilhelm's first special, we have Pierced Heart. Deals magic damage to one target. If Crowley is in the party, the attack will be a critical hit and not possible to dodge. Critical damage is increased by 7% per darkness token on each Renegade ally. If the target has less than 15% HP after the attack, the HP will drop to 0. So again, this is an ability that gets stronger the longer the battle is going on, and assuming your characters aren't using their darkness tokens. So we'll go ahead and use this against Valendar this time. And have a look at the animation. Beautiful. So doing 500k non-crit there. And yeah, it just gets more powerful the more tokens there are on the field. With Crowley, who will be another Renegade hero, he will be getting a 100% crit chance, and then the damage increase as well. So the ability to do a lot of damage is visible. We're going to go ahead and Actually, it would take too much time to set it up to see the execution. Nothing special. We've seen executes before. Nothing to really ponder over there. Nice to have. 15%. I mean, I feel like at 15% or dropping below 15, that's actually not horrible. It's better than having to be below 15% to execute. Instead, you just have to get them under 15% and they will drop to 0. So that's not horrible. I think that's pretty decent. Moving forward, we have Wilhelm's second special, Darkness Descends, deals magic damage to all enemies. For each darkness token on Wilhelm, the enemies take an extra 30% damage. This damage ignores armor and magic resistance. The Inner Darkness debuff is cast on the target and 2 random targets. The target loses allegiance to their faction and Brotherhood and becomes a dark character. If Crowley is in the party, the debuff will ignore Fortitude and magic resistance. All darkness tokens are hence removed from Wilhelm. So this is a new type of debuff into the game, and it is a very, very interesting one. It allows you to alienate a character from their faction. So we're going to go ahead and use it right now in case the timer for the battle runs out, because this is what makes Wilhelm an interesting and potentially very powerful character. So we're going to go ahead and use it against... Who do we want to use it against? Let's go ahead and use it against Trodar. So, cool animation. There we go. Landed on 3 characters. Now, this is unique and brilliant because now these characters are not getting Troran's leadership buff. Leadership buff affects dwarfs. There is now only 2 dwarfs on this team, Troran and Hargrim. As long as that debuff is active, these characters are no longer part of the dwarf allegiance. So this is powerful because there are so few characters released into the game these days that are universal characters. What I mean by universal, Lucky, Seven Knives, characters that can work in almost any squad. You can throw them in and they will have no issue working in that squad. Most characters these days are released and work alongside characters of their faction. So for example, you're fighting the Orcs and you use this ability on... Orcs, sorry, that's a poor example. Dragonkin. You use this ability on Karana, for example, and she is incapable of removing any debuffs you put on her because she's not getting that benefit of debuff removal that the Dragonkin faction gets. Same with Beastmen. Beastmen are able to remove debuffs from themselves per turn. Apply this debuff to them, and they don't benefit from that. So it is going to be a way that you can eliminate a character without the threat of those passives, those leaderships kicking into effect. Now, one thing I want to state, I shouldn't have to, but I will just in case people are wondering. Factions that can resurrect specific heroes, for example, Cathbad or G'dan, being able to resurrect characters from their faction. If you kill a character and that debuff is applied to them, the debuff wears off. Once they're dead, the character returns to that allegiance, so characters will be able to resurrect other characters from their faction. G'dan will be able to resurrect an Orc, and so forth. Okay, so I thought it would have been cool if you could eliminate the character and have them still be unaligned with their faction. Unfortunately, too powerful. That would be way too strong, and yeah, it doesn't work that way. But in terms of getting buffs and those pesky little leadership and passive abilities that you've got going on, you can alienate a character that you want to eliminate and then go from there. Is very powerful. The only quip I have about this is the fact that it hits 3 targets. I feel like that's quite strong. I know that the 2 others are randomized, but I guess that's where we're up to in the game at the moment, is characters with very powerful abilities. So this ability alone makes him worth it, in my opinion. Being able to, especially now in the game where factions are so powerful, this can come in handy. Finally, we have Wilhelm's passive ability, Heartseeker. At the start of the turn, Wilhelm gets darkness tokens and saves up to 5 of them. See, It's worded a little weirdly, but it just means he gets 1 darkness token per turn. Each darkness token increases the armor penetration of his attacks by 20%. So it should be magic penetration, I believe, because he is a magic dealer, not a physical damage dealer. At the start of his turn, he gets a shield equal to 3% of his maximum HP for every dark hero in the arena. So I'm not sure if that counts for his enemy. By that wording, it should. If that is the case, ooh, I'd hate to be going up against a Drake. Let's just put it that way. Drake could almost kill this character. If the target is from the Dragonkin faction, so here we go. Is this Playcot's answer to the Dragonkin? Because Dragonkin are super strong. If the target is from the Dragonkin faction, the damage of all attacks increases by 30%. So you're doing bonus damage against Dragonkin characters. This may be the anti-Dragonkin team. They may be pulling all their resources into the Renegades being an anti-Dragonkin killing team. Too early to tell. This is only the second character of the faction. Who knows what's going to happen? I feel like it may be a good step if it is a Dragonkin killing team, just because I feel like if this was built to take on anything, then they could become maybe too powerful, especially with the ability to unalign characters. Overall, I think his kit is neat. In saying this, I'm getting real strong Archon vibes. And what I mean by that is back in the day when the game was balanced, not that it's balanced now. There is a lot going on in the game at the moment. But back in the day when the game had a system and then the Archons started to come out and they seemed really cool, but little did we know they were going to become the strongest faction in the game for months and months and months, and they were a real big problem. I hope that's not what's going to happen with the Renegades. I hope they don't just become this stupidly strong squad that we don't have a solution to. I hope there is a counter to them. But as of right now, it looks like they're going to be working pretty well against the Dragonkin. So, as of how to get this hero, I don't know if they've released that information yet. If they have, I haven't read it. But the fact that he's been tested and I have been able to do a video on it means that he is in the near future. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I will answer it to the best of my ability. And wherever you are in the world, until next time, please take care of yourself.